Welcome. Today we will be reading lesson number 132. I lose the world from all I thought it was. What keeps the world in chains but your beliefs? And what can save the world except yourself, your higher self? Belief is powerful indeed. The thoughts you hold are mighty, and illusions are as strong in their effects as is the truth. A madman thinks the world he sees is real and does not doubt it, nor can be swayed by questioning his thoughts' effects. It is but when their source is raised to question that the hope of freedom comes to him at last. Yet is salvation easily achieved, for anyone is free to change his mind, and all his thoughts change with it. Now the source of thought has shifted, for to change your mind means you have changed the source of all ideas you think or ever thought nor yet will think. You free the past from what you thought before. You free the future from all ancient thoughts of seeking what you do not want to find. The present now remains the only time. Here in the present is the world set free. But as you let the past be lifted and release the future from your ancient fears, you find escape and give it to the world. You have enslaved the world with all your fears, your doubts and miseries, your pain and tears, and all your sorrows. Press upon it and keep it a prisoner to your beliefs. Death strikes it everywhere because you hold the bitter thought of death within your mind. The world is nothing in itself. Your mind must give it meaning, and what you behold upon it are your wishes acted out so you can look on them and think them real. Perhaps you think you did not make the world, but came unwillingly to what was made already, hardly waiting for your thoughts to give it to meaning. I just want to take a pause in here. Perhaps you think that you did not make the world, but came unwillingly to what was made already, hardly waiting for your thoughts to give it meaning. I'm going to break that down. Many of us have this belief that, it happened. I just came to be. I happened to be born. Things are happening. But when you ask for the truth, you know that is not the case. I just want to point out that is a very rooted belief in everybody. Till we question it, that belief cannot be dissected. That belief cannot be taken out, cannot be even, if you don't question it, it's not going to do you any good because you're going to stay in that same place of thinking that everything is just happening. I just happen to be born here. I just happen to be, and many of the times I've heard, I should choose better parents. I should choose a better circumstance. No, you did. You did the best one for you to learn the lessons that you wanted to learn. But that is such a thick veil that if not penetrated, it can be just there. And the soul that needs to learn the lessons or liberate itself, it's just not going to happen. And nothing wrong with it. It just will come back again. And that's just, again, you won't come back because it's a bad thing. You will come back because the soul yearns. Think of it that way. It yearns to know the truth. That's why. Moving on. Yet in truth, you found exactly what you looked for when you came. There is no world apart from what you wish, and herein lies your ultimate release. Change but your mind on what you want to see, and all the world must change accordingly. That is very true. Try it again. Practically apply it. Ideas leave not their source. The central theme is often stated in the text and must be borne in mind if you would understand the lesson for today. It is not pride which tells you that you made the world you see and that it changes as you change your mind, but it is pride that argues you have come into a world quite separate from yourself, impervious to what you think and quite apart from what you chance to think it is. There is no world. Whoa. This is the central thought the course attempts to teach. Not everyone is ready to accept it. Each one must go as far as he can let himself be led along the road to truth. He will return and go still farther, as perhaps step back a while and then return again. But hearing is the gift of those who are prepared to learn there is no world and can accept the lesson now. Their readiness will bring the lesson to them in some form which they can understand and recognize. Some see it suddenly on the point of death and rise to teach it. Others find it in experience that it is not of this world, which shows them that the world does not exist because what they behold must be the truth, and yet it clearly contradicts the world. And some will find it in this course and in the exercises that we do today. Today's idea is true because the world does not exist, and if it is indeed your own imagining, then you can lose it from all things you ever thought it was by merely changing all the thoughts that give it these appearances. The sick are healed as you let go all thoughts of sickness, and the dead arise when you let thoughts of life replace all thoughts of ever thought of death. Death in itself is not just the physical dying. Death is everything. Thoughts of hatred. Um, Anytime that we don't act lovingly, attack, judgment, all of those are is death. A lesson earlier repeated once must now be stressed again, for it contains a firm foundation. For today's idea, you are as God created you. There is no place where you can suffer and no time that can bring change to your eternal state. This is the most difficult thing, I think, to accept. How can I say I'm not suffering, but I'm really physically, people that have physical ailments, how I'm physically suffering, and if not mentally, you're mentally. So like, how can you say that? But the truth would say that no, you can't ever suffer. There is no suffering. You have to come to that. You have to experience that yourself. You cannot just take the word for it. You cannot just read something and then accept it. You have to really question it and experience it yourself. So there is no place where you can suffer and no time that can bring change to your eternal state. How can a world of time and place exist if you remain as God created you? What is the lesson for today except another way of saying that to know yourself is the salvation of the world? You can instead of salvation, use freedom. Put this in nirvana. Hinduism, we say Atma. Atma is the soul. Or Mukti. Mukti is freedom. Right? You can use any words that you want. Okay? It doesn't matter. Get to the truth. Truth is one. To free the world from every kind of pain is but to change your mind about yourself. There is no world apart from your ideas, because ideas leave not their source, and you maintain the world within your mind in thought. Yet, if you are as God created you, you cannot think apart from Him, nor make what does not share His timelessness with anyone. Are these inherent in the world you see? Does it create like Him? Unless it does, it's not real and cannot be at all. If you are real, the world you see is false. But God's creation is unlike the world in every day, and as it was His thought, let me move myself, which you created, so is your thoughts, which made it and must set it free, that you may know the thoughts you share with God. Release the world. Your real creations wait for this release to give you fatherhood, not of illusions, but as God in truth. God shares His fatherhood with you, who are His son. For He makes no distinctions in what is in self and what is still Him. What He creates is not apart from Him, and nowhere does the Father and the Son begin as something separate from Him. This is a beautiful line. Nowhere does the Father end, and the sun begin are simply separate from him. Nowhere there's not a thread. It just brings a lot of peace knowing that. Believe me, when I read all these things as ideas don't leave your source, no, I didn't understand anything. I'm 7 years deep into this right now. This is the 8th year. I'm deep into this now. This is where my interest lies. This is why I like this. What I read. This is what I love. I want to go deeper into the truth, know the truth, be the truth, live the truth, experience the truth all the time. So this is where I am, but it took me time. So be gentle with yourself. But if you're the kind of person who gets it right away, fantastic. Love it. There is no world because it's a thought apart from God and made to separate the Father and the Son, break away a part of God Himself and thus destroy His home. Can a world which comes from this idea be real? Can it be anywhere? Deny illusions but accept the truth. Deny you are a shadow briefly laid upon the dying world. Release your mind and you will look upon a world released. Today our purpose is to free the world from all the from all the idle thoughts we never held about it and about all living things we see upon it. The idle thoughts here I would like to expand is things we accept without questioning. So there's a lot of things that is being released from generations to generations, and they are accepted without a question. This happens because of this. It's never been questioned. It's been done this way, and so I just got to do it, right? There are a lot of things that some of them are really good, some of them are helpful to you, some of them are not. And then we are stuck, and then we experience it, and then we feel, that's not what I wanted to experience, but that belief is you've already accepted it somewhere. So I just want to say what those idle thoughts are thoughts that are accepted without question, and they will remain there until and unless you question them. If you start questioning them, is where your freedom lies. So today our purpose is to free the world from all the idle thoughts we ever held about it and about all living things we see upon it. They cannot be there no more than we. For we are in the home our Father set for us along with. And we who are as He created us lose the world this day from every one of our illusions that we may be free. Begin the 15-minute periods in which we practice twice today with this. I who remain as God created me would lose the world from all I thought it was. For I am real because the world is not. And I would know my own reality. Then merely rest alert, but with no strain, and let your mind in quietness be changed so that the world is freed along with you. You need not realize that healing comes to many brothers far across the world, as well as to the ones you see nearby as you send out these thoughts to bless the world. For you will sense your own release, although you may not fully understand it as yet, that you should never be released alone. What it is telling you is your thoughts are so powerful. If you send love and peace and joy, and it is multiplied, as the hatred thoughts that we send also multiply. So I know every one of us, when we talk, we all want to see peace. Maybe we want to experience that. But are we ready to first transform ourselves, get to the truth, experience the truth, know the truth clearly within us, to be able to expand it, extend it, deliver it, wish it for everyone. Throughout the day, increase the freedom, send through your ideas to all the world and say, whenever you're tempted to deny the power of your simple change of mind, I lose the world from all I thought it was and choose my own reality instead. Let me read the footnotes. This is the best part about what I like about this book. It gives some more clarity. Their source probably refers to the source of his thoughts, which would be his mind. The next paragraph twice calls his mind the source of his thoughts. Since that paragraph refers to changing one's mind, in other words, changing one's ideas, raising the mind to question basically means questioning the mind's ideas. Ideas do not leave the mind which thought them in order to have separate being. Ideas leave not their source and their effects, but seem to be apart from them. Ideas are of the mind. What is projected out and seems to be external to the mind is not outside at all, but an effect of what is in and has not left its source. So it gives you a lot more reference that you can go back and look at. This may be a reference to near-death experiences, which first gained public awareness in 1975, 5 years after this material was dictated, through the book Life After Life by Raymond Moody. That's my next book I'm going to read. Near-death experiences share many features with the scenario described above. They are life-changing experiences that take place on the brink of death, in which the person sometimes sees that the world is an illusion, after which the person then recovers, sometimes miraculously, and filled with a sense of mission, often teaches others the truths that he or she learned in the experience. All of these features are reflected in the sentence above. It is true that nothing in that sentence identifies the insight gained on point of death as coming from an otherworldly experience, but this may simply to be distinguish this item from the next item in the list, which features experience that is not of this world. I think NDE is a very attractive subject, if you will. I myself, including, and I'm guessing everybody, would like to know what is it that happens when we die, when the body dies. So, and now I have heard, I'm going to link the podcast that I love watching, and I think it's called Next Level Soul. And I'm pretty sure most of you are watching it. I think he does a lot of interviews, but there's a lot of NDE that he does, I guess. I watch them too. And I gain a lot of insight through that. I don't watch all of those NDEs, but the most that I have read the book about is Anita Moorjani. I was stunned when I read that book. I would highly recommend that book, Dying to Be Me. I'll place that link as well on this one. It's a beautiful book if you have not read it. She has her own YouTube as well. Next footnote, this appears to be a reference to mystical experiences in which a person reports having a direct experience of true reality without the meditation of the senses and outside of ordinary consciousness. The mystic commonly experiences a fundamental unity with and between all things, and the certainty that this oneness is what is truly real, more real than real. In contrast to this, the physical world, including separation, time, form, and evil, is revealed to be a mere shadow or even altogether illusory. Matthew, heal the sick, cleanse the lepers, raise the dead, cast out devils, freely ye have received, freely give. So it's access to C lessons 94 and 110. I might just place them in my video so you can look at them. The final two occurrences of it here, made it and must set it free, refer to the world. It's the end of the previous sentence. I like to go back to the footnote 214 where the person has that mystical experiences without the meditation. It just a light bulb went up to me. That you don't have to die physically to reach that place. You just have to die the ego, the form. And it is very, very possible for us all to have the mystical experiences. I am going to talk about my mystical experiences. I'll briefly give you an idea. I'll talk about it. One of the mystical experiences that I had was one day. It was very sad. Sad to the point that I didn't know, like, I've never seen myself or felt that sad in my whole life. Suddenly, out of nowhere, I had a whole embracing of love. I can't even describe it. When it came, that energy, when it entered, I was just sitting there stunned. At that moment, all it could give me a message or was that I am so loved that I should never put myself down for anything. And at that time, we human beings go put ourselves down, condemn ourselves so much. That was a brief mystical experience, and I think about it every day. But every one of us is capable of having their own mystical experiences, and it doesn't have to look one similar to the other. They're all different mystical experiences. So this lesson was a bit longer in my explanation. I just felt like it's better that I give clarity that I have now gained, and that it is my job to extend that clarity to you. I love you so much. Keep practicing, happy practicing, and I will see you in the next lesson. Yes.